As an interior designer, do you know how to handle sales objections? Are you comfortable with all the different things they can say, and what should you say back to lead them to the next stage in your sales process, in getting them to use you as an interior designer into one of your service models? This is something that is discussed multiple sessions during my Profit Insiders for Interior Designers group coaching program. Not only do I go over all my sales scripts, but all the objections, how a client can be handled depending on what they say, depending on what you hear. And that's really part of the key. So who am I? I'm Nancy Ganzikoffer. I'm a business coach and body language trainer, and I am here to teach you something new about how to handle client objections during your sales process. So listen in. It's really important for you to watch this video. If you get stumped often by when your client says something or potential client says something and is asking you questions about your process, about your pricing, about what's next, and you kind of get stumped, you get stuck, you don't know what to say. What do you say if they say this? What do you say if they say that, right? There's always questions. It's one of the hottest topics on my business helpline, where people can send me a message directly and say, how do I respond to this, Nancy? I don't know what to say. So in this video, I want you to watch, because I'm going to go over some of my standard responses to typical objections that interior designers get. But before I dive in, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will get notified of future videos. So I know you've heard things like, oh, you charge? And how much is it? And wait, I have to check with my husband or wife to make sure they're okay with me spending this money. And how long is the process going to take? It's more expensive than I thought. And all those types of things. Oh, I think I can handle it myself. Well, can I take over half the job and you just do the other half? Because I think I'll be fine. Or do I really need that many hours? I don't think I need you for 10 hours. I mean, I only have a few questions. How many times have you heard those types of things? So let's go over how I recommend you respond to some of those sales objections. Okay, let's start with the discovery call. They call you on the phone. What do you say? First thing I want you to say is, oh, hi, so-and-so. Can I ask how you found me? This way, you will know which part of your marketing is working. It is absolutely the most important thing for you to ask, so you know where your efforts are going, that they are actually bringing in clients. So that's always number one. And then you want to start saying to them, tell me about your project. And the most important thing in the discovery call is to be a good listener. I can't tell you how many times people just talk and talk and talk, the designer, and they're not listening very well to the client, or they're anticipating what they want to say. And again, by anticipating and waiting to talk, are you really listening? No. So can I ask how you found me? Tell me about your project. Can I ask, why is this important to you now? Or if they've told you already, you can say, I hear this is important to you now because you're having company in 2 weeks, 2 months, in a year, and you want to get this job done. And that's the starting point, right? Tell me about your project. Why is it important to you now? And then you're going to be listening. And then you can speak. You want to say, let me tell you what I can do for you. And you want to describe just what you do during the initial consultation, nothing more. Don't go on and on about your whole process, their whole project, and how you work, and this way and that way. The biggest disease is talking too much. You want to keep the people in the moment. The only thing you're doing during that discovery call is trying to get in their front door, should you like the sounds of the project, so that you can get your paid consult. So tell me about your project. Why is it important to you now? let me tell you what I can do for you, and you describe the consult only. Then you're going to say, great, I have availability on what date? And yes, I do charge for my consult. This is how much. Shall I get you booked? That's it. Keep it simple. Now, I ran through it really quick. There were some nuances that I definitely go over in my group coaching program, Profit Insiders for Interior Designers, but I wanted to give you guys the overview. That's my desire sales formula. When I tell you the messages I get from my clients, oh my God, it works. And it works every time if I do it right. I'm like, exactly. If you do it right, you can get someone from the phone to the paid consult. But remember, keep people in the moment. In sales, you want to make sure you keep people in the moment, not let them go way down the line and ask you a million questions about something you can't answer yet until you have seen the job. Now, after you have convinced them over the phone by using my desire sales formula to have you into their home, you want to make sure you ask, are there any other decision makers involved? Because you want to make sure that you're very clear that all decision makers should be there from the beginning. This way, it's not going to cost them extra for you to have to come back and explain to someone else what is going on and how you work and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's definitely one of the things you want to hear once they say, okay, let's move forward. Can I ask if there are any other decision makers involved? And have you done your research? Do you have an investment level in mind for your project? If they try to say, well, if I was to continue with you, how much do you charge? You just want to say, I have different service models for different needs, and we will discuss that in your home once I see your project and get to talk to you and your wife or husband. So keep them in the moment. It's your job to lead the conversation and be a really good leader. It's key to the success of the entire project. The way you started out is going to be whether they perceive you as a leader or as somebody they can maybe push around a little bit, and we don't want that. Or let's say you're now in the consult and you've done your walkthrough and you've shared freely of your ideas, and now you're sitting back down at the table and you're saying, let's go over what I have observed. It looks to me and it sounds to me, based on everything you said and everything I saw, that you are the perfect candidate for, and let's, for argument's sake, call this a full service design project, okay? Because it does depend on what service model, different sales techniques, but let's just talk about full service. So they want to know how much you charge. Now, I'm going to assume for the sake of this video, you have a set price for your design fee. And let's just say they are looking to have their living room done. And you say it is a $5,000 design fee for your living room. And I can get started as early as next month. How does that sound? And they go, oh, well, that is really expensive. You can actually say, you know what? You're right. It is expensive, but I am well worth it. I can't tell you how many clients have hired me after the fact, after they've made mistakes, gotten the wrong size sofas and tables and put their rooms together and hated it and wasted so much money. Hiring me from the beginning will actually save you time, money, and mistakes moving forward with your own project. And make sure that you love the space, because that's what I do for a living. And let me tell you what you get for that design phase. And you list out everything that you provide. Every designer is different. What do you provide in the design phase? What are your deliverables? That's what you want to describe. But you want to be clear, you want to be concise, and you don't want to babble. Babbling will kill the sale every time. Now, if they're still saying it's just more money than we wanted to spend, okay, let me make sure I have it straight, is what you want to do. I want to go back and make sure I understand all your needs. So you want to do this, and this. List it out and say, is there anything here you would want to eliminate that could possibly reduce the price of the design fee? And of course, I'm saying this for everyone who's watching, only if you're willing to do that. If that is your design fee, that is what you stick to. And all you then have to do is show your value by emphasizing that you save them time, money, and mistakes. And storytelling is a great way to do that. You can tell a story about a past client who did not call you in time, made very pricey mistakes, and you just don't want to see that happen to them. Sort of like I gave you in the last example. One of the examples that makes everyone nuts is, well, they didn't have all the decision makers there, even though you told them you wanted all the decision makers there. And now you're like, oh, you're hearing that you have to run it by the husband. I have to run it by my husband. I'm just not sure he's going to want me to spend that kind of money. So what do you say in that case? Obviously, you want to encourage somebody to run it by their significant other. So what I always say is, you know how sometimes you come home and you've bought something that your husband didn't approve of, or you think your husband may not approve of, but because you're so excited, he just goes, you know what? It's going to make you happy. Let's do it. No problem, or you can keep it. It depends on when you're having that conversation. I want you to tell that story. Like, has there been a time that you ever brought home something that was more expensive than your husband expected it to be? The excitement that you had convinced him to just go, all right, this is good. You can keep this. I want you to have that excitement about interior design and about using me as your interior designer. So let me ask you, are you excited to use me? Do you feel like I am the right person for the job for you? And then guess what? You need to go silent and you need to let them answer, and you need to observe their body language to see if you feel they're being truthful with what they're saying. So the other thing you really want to say is there anything your husband, and again, I'm using husband in this scenario, would need to know, any questions he always asks that I can answer for you now so that you're prepared when you're giving these answers to him? Because I can see you're excited about doing this, and I'm so excited to be doing this project with you. So let's figure out how we can make your husband understand the value of this, just like you seem to understand the value. I have to think about it. Do you ever get that response? I know I used to get it a lot as an art consultant. I have to think about it. Well, what's interesting is that I have to think about it often comes from people who are feeling overwhelmed. They have decision fatigue. Their life is very, very busy, and they never know if they're going to trust their own decisions on the spot. So they have to think about it. So what I want you to say is, I totally understand that you have to think about it, but I just want to remind you why you originally called me. You said you were overwhelmed. There was so much to do, that this project has been pending for over a year or 6 months or whatever she said or he said. And that's why I'm here, to actually take that overwhelm away from you so that you don't have to think about it anymore and we can actually get it underway. So just consider that as you're making your decision. Now, what I'm hoping you're noticing is I'm sort of like humanizing my responses. I'm really saying a lot of what you want to say. I'm just saying it in a more professional manner, right? So, gee, that's more money than I thought I would spend. You know what? Yes, I am expensive, but let me tell you what you're going to get for that money and how many mistakes that aren't going to happen because you have me involved. And that I am going to save you time, money, and mistakes just by having my expertise. And I'm really good at what I do, right? Look at the way I just delivered that. Very hard for people to say, no, just too expensive, right? They want to go, oh, she's right. I need her. I need to buy this, right? And if they say again, I want to run it by my whoever, you can say, I understand. What information do you think they need to know to help you make a decision? And the last objection, just to recap, was, I just don't think I can make a decision right now. You're feeling like they're overwhelmed. What you want to do is acknowledge that, you know what, you're looking overwhelmed, just like you sounded over the phone. And isn't that why you called me? All these ways to change the way you handle that sales conversation and to be able to close the deal, humanize your responses, not salesy, just direct. And here's the biggest key, not to be afraid to have the conversation with the client, not to be afraid to say what you need to say to point out that they are stuck in the same cycle of indecision that they have been possibly for a very long time. Part of your job. Kind of like coaching, don't you think? Listen, as much as I love sales, I help interior designers with all aspects of their business, their pricing, their ladder of services, their sales conversations, just communication with the client, period, their process, all of it with the intention of making sure you have less clients, more money, and you're living the life you want to live, the one you expected to live when you chose to be an entrepreneur, not running around crazy, overwhelmed, not sure you're in the right space. If you are a talented interior designer, you want to make sure you also learn to be a really good business person, because as an entrepreneur, you're really a business person first and a designer second. So when you flip that around in your head and you say, how can I become a better business person? There are people like me who help you every single day. That's what we do. So if you need help, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I have new groups starting every quarter, and I have one-on-one coaching all the time. And I have a membership site full of information. So don't sit there and overwhelm and think, well, next year it's going to be different, or the year after that it's going to be different. When you look back, you think, how many times have I said that? Might be time to get help. So that's what I'm here for.